Have you ever had the experience of learning something so deeply, so naturally, that you didn't even realize you'd changed until you noticed you were responding differently? That's how transformation works. Subtle, gentle, permanent. Like a river carving through stone, not by force, but by consistency, flow, and adaptability. What if this moment is the beginning of that very transformation? Because as you hear these words, a new framework is forming. You can forget what you thought you knew, because it's refreshing to begin again, as if wiping the slate clean. You're not empty, you're open. That openness makes room for something new to emerge. A new operating system, not installed by logic, but by experience. Imagine now you're stepping into a room, dimly lit, quiet, and inside is a mirror. But it's not reflecting your face, it's reflecting your possibilities. And as you look, you realize you're seeing your future self operating effortlessly from a different set of beliefs. That curiosity is not just a trait, it's a compass. The influence begins the moment you listen more than you speak. The rapport is the invisible thread that pulls people toward you, not by force, but by resonance. And the most fascinating part, you don't have to try to remember anything. You can let it happen automatically. Because the more you listen, the deeper it goes. Let's explore some examples. Imagine a man walks into a conversation unsure, defensive. You match his breath. You soften your posture. You ask gently. What would need to happen for this to feel different? He exhales and something shifts. You've just interrupted his pattern, not by confronting, but by redirecting. And in that space, you slide in a metaphor. Sometimes storms only teach the sailor to adjust the sails. And just like that, he's no longer a problem, he's a possibility. And you're leading from behind, not pushing, not pulling, just nudging. And that is power. Another moment, you're feeling reactive, tension rises, and you remember. You pause, you smile, you break your own pattern. And recall that time when laughter dissolved pressure. Suddenly you're back in control, because you remembered the strongest frame isn't the loudest, it's the most stable. What if emotional mastery isn't a skill but a habit? What if boldness was just permission, given by you to yourself? What if curiosity was the key? You've already picked the lock. Now notice how quickly people begin to respond to you differently when you speak less but say more. Mirror, then shift. Ask questions that ignite imagination. Like, have you always been this resilient? Or is it something you've trained into yourself without even knowing? A smile, a pause, a flicker of reflection, and something new takes root. Because questions plant seeds, and metaphors water them. And your presence, that's the sunlight. So let this moment be the threshold. The moment you choose to forget what doesn't serve you and remember who you're really becoming. You're curious, playful, powerful, adaptive, wildly unpredictable in the most liberating way. You remember your center, and from that stillness you lead. You may ask yourself, how do I live like this? Well, you already are. Every word you've heard, every pause, every image, has already begun reshaping your unconscious. You're already operating from the new beliefs, not tomorrow, not later, now. Is it curious how easily change becomes once you stop chasing it? Because right now, without needing to try, you're becoming the kind of person who naturally influences, uplifts and transforms yourself and others. So just wonder for a moment, what happens when these ideas sink even deeper? Or don't wonder, let it happen, because it is already.